Luxembourg ranks as one of the most expensive cities in Europe to live in, outpacing even London and Paris. To buy just 1 square meter of an apartment here, you'd need to cash out on average 12,000 euro. Hi all, my name is Kira and this channel is based on statistics. For this video, I've pulled some stats to answer the question why the housing in Luxembourg is so expensive. The reason number one is population growth. Since the 1950s, the Luxembourg's population growth has been steadily on the rise. In the last decade alone, the population grew by nearly 20%, adding more than 100,000 new residents. That's a huge demand for housing. This graph shows us how the population growth rate in Luxembourg has developed over time. The first spike in population growth happened in 1985, when the historic Schengen Agreement was signed. This marked a significant milestone as it ended the border controls between the original European Union countries. This landmark deal was named after the small town of Schengen, actually located in Luxembourg. And suddenly Luxembourg was on the map, drawing in waves new visitors and residents. Fast forward to 2002, during a major crisis, as well as during the financial turmoil in 2007-2008, Luxembourg shone brightly. While many neighboring countries struggled, Luxembourg's strong economy stood out as a beacon of stability and opportunity. This crisis actually attracted more people to Luxembourg, driving the population increases up, as individuals flocked to Luxembourg for a more prosperous, bright and safer future. But since 2016, the population growth rate has slowed down. Not because people stopped coming. The numbers are still positive, but the rate of increase isn't as steep as it used to be. The reason for the slowdown remains unclear, although experts from the local logistics bureau suggest that the slowdown is due to the stable European economy, with many people returning back to their home countries as the economic situation has improved over there. In 2019, we see another drop in population growth, probably motivated by the travel restrictions followed by the COVID-19 outbreak. Overall, despite the slowdowns, the Luxembourgish population keeps on rising, fueling the demand for the new housing. So, with the population continually growing, you'd expect an increase in housing construction to meet this demand. But this is where we encounter the major reason for the skyrocketing housing prices here in Luxembourg: the lack of new home construction. While the population keeps growing, the housing supply hasn't kept up, leading to an intensified housing shortage. Check out this chart. It illustrates the strong contrast between the new homes being built and the net inflow of new residents coming to Luxembourg each year. Think of a dwelling permit like of a ticket to build a new home. One dwelling permit equals one new residence. The net newcomers simply refers to the net increase in the amount of people who have arrived to Luxembourg in a given year. Year after year, there are more people coming to Luxembourg than there are new homes being built. The simple math, net newcomers minus new dwelling permits equals the shortage of housing, does not work though, because multiple people can share one apartment. To quantify the housing problem, let's look at the average household size in Luxembourg. The average household size in Luxembourg was 2.26. This means that on average, a Luxembourgish household consists of just 2 people, with every 4th household having a 3rd member. Next, we compare the average household size with the ratio of net newcomers to new dwellings. And remember that a dwelling is basically a new residence. This ratio shows how many newcomers should be accommodated in one home being built each year if we don't want anyone to live on the street. For example, if there are 1,000 new people, but only 500 new homes, at least 2 people must share each home. I've crunched the numbers for Luxembourg myself. The average Luxembourgish household size, which is at 2.26, is actually smaller than the ratio of net newcomers to new dwellings, which currently stands at 2.46. This indicates a clear problem. There aren't enough new homes to keep up with the population growth. Another important takeaway from this graph is that the housing shortage has been a persistent issue since 2011. You can see from the graph that the light blue line, representing the ratio of net newcomers to new dwellings, has been consistently above the dark blue line, representing the average household size here in Luxembourg. Lastly, the general trend is that the average household size in Luxembourg has been decreasing. This decline reflects broader demographic changes, such as an increasing number of single-person households and child-free households. So, if there is clearly a shortage of home, why don't we just build more? Well, this brings us to the third reason for the soaring housing prices here in Luxembourg: fragmented land ownership. The Luxembourg Institute for Socio-Economic Research reveals that the main reason for the high housing prices remains the availability of the viable land plots. Not enough building plots are ready to be developed, making it hard for the supply to keep up. To build homes, we need land that's ready to be developed. The problem isn't that Luxembourg is too small or it doesn't have enough land. It's that many private landowners are holding too tightly to their small land plots, making it harder to consolidate bigger land plots to build and develop bigger projects. The Institute explains further. There are enough building plots available in Luxembourg. The issue is that about 92% of them are in private hands. Around 3/4 of these are owned by private citizens, and the remaining quarter by professional developers. They usually own small parcels of land. Because many people own smaller sized plots of land throughout Luxembourg, it's very challenging to bring these owners together to sell or develop their land. Coordinating multiple small landowners to create a bigger development plot is a complex and slow process. You can imagine that it takes a lot of negotiating power to bring together the different landowners with different interests and make them move forward at roughly the same time. And there you have it. The Luxembourg's soaring housing prices are driven by the increasing population, by the fragmented land ownership, and by the insufficient housing construction. Thank you for watching. Stay informed and hope to see you next time.